Well, hey everybody, happy Monday. And yeah, I'm just going to start saying happy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I used to say the exact date. I've actually been doing that since I started reviewing hot sauces and other spicy foods on this channel about 2 years ago. But I just realized like when you open any YouTube video, it says below the video the date that it was posted. So why would I introduce the video by saying the exact date? It doesn't make any sense. And half the time I can't even remember the exact date. There's probably at least 30, between 30 and 50 instances in which I said, hey everybody, it's blah, 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 blah. And then it would turn out to be like not even the correct date. I don't remember dates. Well, sometimes I even struggle to remember what day of the week it is. But I know that it's Monday because I had a rough work day. And I know that yesterday I didn't work at all. So, deduction tells me that it must be Monday. But anyways, I have a spicy barbecue sauce to try today. This is the sort of thing that I almost never do on this channel. All right, so, brings an extra sense of excitement and anticipation to the video because it's like, oh, I'm doing something I don't normally do. Not really a big fan of barbecue sauce. I don't eat at barbecue restaurants. I'm not a big Famous Dave's fan or Dickie's Barbecue or anything like that. I don't like pork ribs particularly. I'm just not a big barbecue guy. But occasionally, in certain contexts, I do like barbecue sauce. I like a good, barbecue burger every once in a while. With crispy onions or onion rings on it, and like a nice tangy barbecue sauce. That could be nice. So I have gotten myself a hot barbecue sauce by a company who I have tried one hot sauce by before, and that is KAATIL. And I have gotten KAATIL's Killer Desi Heat hot barbecue sauce. This one is supposed to be a 9 out of 10, and it has ghost peppers in it. Okay, 9 out of 10 for heat. I don't know about flavor, but 9 out of 10 for heat. The other KAATIL sauce, which I still have a little bit of, that I tried a few months ago, was this, it was just another Killer Desi Heat hot sauce. But they do it by numbers. They distinguish by numbers. So this is their number 7 hot sauce. It has the same... No, it does not have the same imagery. It has the same cartoon character, but this is the sort of like Bruce Campbell, Evil Dead type character, and then this is some sort of a Crypt Keeper reference or something like that. Which makes sense. This is like on the good side, right? So Bruce Campbell was like crazy, and when he was possessed, he accidentally cut his own hand off. Although there are 2 hands in this one, but it's like it seems like to be a reference to Evil Dead. You see like the trees, the dead trees in the background, the chainsaw. That's kind of a Bruce Campbell-y facial expression. But this is a 7 out of 10 for heat. So this is when it was fighting against evil. Now this sauce has just fully embraced evil, right? So it's like a Grim Reaper, Crypt Keeper type character. Same face, though. But anyways, yeah. This was a really interesting sauce. I remember I was kind of on the fence of it when I first... On the fence with it? I don't know if I was ever standing on a fence and holding this bottle. If I was, I need to stay away from alcohol. But no, I was on the fence about this sauce when I first had it. I remember I was like, that's interesting. It has a pepper that I've never had in any sauce before or since. It's an Indian pepper called the Lavangi pepper. And it was a little bit unusual. So I wasn't really sure what to think. I tried it, and I was like, I'm not sure what to do with this. But I tried it more and more and more, and I realized that the sauce, or the pepper that the Lavangi peppers reminded me of the most, were actually 7-Pot Primos. And I know that because I kept thinking, what sauce does this remind me of? And it reminded me of Pepper Palace's 7 sauce, which is a kind of a sweet but extremely hot 7-Pot Primo sauce. This is similar in flavor, in texture, and in heat, although the Pepper Palace's 7 was considerably hotter. This has decent heat to it. and good earthy flavor. All right, so this ended up becoming one of my favorite sauces of 2025. So they have a No.9 hot sauce too, but I decided, you know what? I've got a video that I want to do where I compare all of my spicy hot sauces. Why don't I get because I only have 3. I'm not a big barbecue sauce guy. So I wanted to do a video of hot or spicy barbecue sauces, but I only have 3 of them in my collection. So I thought these videos where I'm doing, sampling and ranking different hot sauces over foods, I've been consistently doing 4 and comparing and ranking them. So I wanted to have a 4th spicy hot sauce, and I figured, or a spicy barbecue sauce, and I figured, okay, I liked KAATIL's last offering. Let's try their barbecue sauce. So I have been talking a lot. Let's read a little bit about this. Let's read the ingredients. All right. It says you can spread, grill, or glaze. I guess I'm not really doing any of those things. I'm actually dipping Gardein plant-based chicken nuggets in it. I'm trying to use them up. But I am going to try it on its own first, and then I'm going to try it as a dip for the chicken nugget. All right. The game plan starts as a smoky barbecue sauce before a creeping heat explodes in your mouth. It's kind of sexual. The gang. Sweet smokiness of barbecue joining forces with the legendary Buchalokia chili, Northeast India's fiery godfather. So there's a Buchalokia and there's a Naga Jalokia. So if this is from the northeast of India, is the Naga Jalokia from another region in another part of India? Though they're both ghost peppers. And also, is that a resolved or an unresolved conflict, whether or not the Naga or the Buchalokia is generally hotter? Good question, right? The result, a thrilling combo that starts as barbecue sauce and finishes with an explosive, smoky bang. That's how the ghost burn works. All right, so if they designed this sauce with just the right amount of ghost peppers, it should be a slow creeping burn. You take a good amount of the sauce and you're like, oh, this isn't that hot. But then it builds and it builds and it builds and it builds. That's how ghost peppers work. And they not only do they build slowly, but they taper off slowly too. So the heat builds and then it lingers for a bit and then it tapers off. And it's a nice heat. That's why ghost peppers are my favorite super hot. So I'm excited to try this. Now, let's see what's in it. Water, good. Tomato paste, good. Sugar, jaggery, which is unrefined cane sugar. Interesting. Tamarind paste. Mixed bag when it comes to tamarind paste and me. Buchalokia chili pepper, spices, sea salt, xanthan gum, modified food starch, acetic acid, citric acid, caramel color, potassium sorbate, and natural hickory smoke flavor. Okay. I wonder if it doesn't say whether or not the Buchalokias are smoked. That would give them additional heat, I would think. All right, let's try it. A little shake. Try it on its own. Try it over nugget. This has got to be one of the first sauce reviews that I've done that has gone 8.5 minutes before I've even tried the sauce. It's because I just don't care anymore. Somebody gave me advice and they said, you know what, if you start, making your full-length videos, 5 minutes or less, you're going to get more clicks on them. Turned out to be the opposite was true. So I'm just going to let this go on as long as I feel like rambling about food and other things and any topics that come into my mind. So if this goes 25 minutes, so be it. It's not going to make any difference to the number of views. It just isn't. All right. Here we go. Maybe it's the hashtags, maybe it's the title of the video, maybe it's the thumbnail. I don't know what it is, but it's not the running time. So I will ramble and delay as long as I please. Okay? If you're a loyal devotee of my channel, you're still watching, right? Here we go. Okay. Nice texture. Nice thick barbecue sauce texture, what you want from any barbecue sauce. There's a good amount of sugar in that. Some barbecue sauces are way too sugary for me. That's one of the reasons that I kind of avoid barbecue sauce. I don't have much of a sweet tooth, and a lot of them it's like, man, you put a lot of brown sugar in this. There's just the amount of cane sugar. What was it called? What was the name of that cane sugar? Jaggery. Just the right amount in there. Nice sweetness. And yeah, there was initial smokiness into sweetness. A little bit of, maybe it's a roasty tomato flavor. And yeah, I'm starting to feel the heat build a little bit, which is what it promised, and which is how ghost heat works. So that's nice. There's some kind of a weird aftertaste in there. Now, did what many hot sauces and other spicy products do, which is when it comes to the spices part and what spices specifically are in there, they don't disclose exactly what those spices are. That's the case with this. And there is a spice in there that is creating a sort of it's still lingering. I tasted in the aftertaste, and I tasted a pretty substantial hint of it. Like, it wasn't overwhelming, but I tasted it there. There is some kind of a spice or herb or seed or something in that I don't care for. I want to say that it's alfalfa. Does Indian cuisine use alfalfa in it? I think it's some kind of a seed. It's not fennel seed. I can't really remember what flax seed tastes like. It's not anise seed, because I don't think Indian cooking even uses anise seed, and it doesn't have that like licorice flavor. A little bit of anise seed goes a long way. It's not that either. Like I said, not fennel. I like the taste of fennel seed. What could it be? I don't know. There's some kind of spice, possibly an herb, possibly a seed. I am not sure what it is because they weren't explicit about which spices are in it, but it's creating a taste that I don't like. And I don't know if I can get over that. I don't know if I can get over that. When I taste, because that's the thing about barbecue sauce. A good barbecue sauce with depth of flavor has like five or six different things that you can taste, and they blend together really nicely. And you got that treacly, thick texture of that sauce permeating throughout your mouth, and you can taste all these different things, and they're hitting all your taste buds. I just don't know if it's something that I have to get used to, or if it's just something that I'm not ever going to like. Because I'm telling you, I don't want to taste cattle feed in my barbecue sauce. I don't care if it's exotic and if it's KAATIL and it's a ghost pepper sauce and it uses my favorite super hot. All of that will be eclipsed by the unpleasantness of whatever that seed or herb or spice is in there. I don't know what it is. Let's try it over a chicken nugget. And maybe on second bite, I'll be like, okay, it's not that bad. I was just a little bit alarmed by the initial flavor. It threw me off, That has happened a lot, too. There are sauces that tasted disgusting to me when I first tried them. Oops, put too much on. That ended up being favorites of mine. So it can happen. I'm having an acid reflux attack. Must pause. All right, while I was suffering there for a minute, I was thinking of what other seeds could it be? Celery seed? Caraway seed? Send me a list. If you're an expert, you know anything about Indian cooking, and you can think of what seed might have an alfalfa taste, or maybe it is just alfalfa, but just tell me. Tell me. What has that alfalfa flavor? What other things might that be? All right, here, let's try the nugget. There's a grassy flavor. That's the word. Some of you may not have ever tried. Well, some of you may not have ever just like chewed on a blade of grass as a kid. But I have tried alfalfa, and I've had grass in my mouth. I've had alfalfa, that grassy flavor just doesn't work in a barbecue sauce, and it's still there. So I mean, it's lighting up the nugget with smokiness and heat, but what is going on with that grassy flavor? One more. All right. Third bite. I'm starting to get. I'm tolerating it now. I don't know if I can get used to a grassy alfalfa flavor being in an Indian style barbecue sauce. I might quite like this at some point. I love the way that the ghost pepper heat manifests in this. That is easily the best thing about this sauce. The other stuff, I don't even really taste the tamarind in there. I mean, that was the thing I was worried about. I was like, tamarind. Sometimes I don't like it. That is not what I'm tasting in there that I don't like. Tamarind's minimal, I think. It's got nice ghost pepper heat. I really, really like that. And the flavor of the ghost pepper is coming through a little bit too. That's all good, well and good. Great texture, great heat. I just wish I knew what the hell that weird taste in there is. Interesting sauce. Hey, I'm not going to say don't buy this. You know, if we figure out what this is, I'll make another short video and say, okay, we've identified what this is that tastes like alfalfa or grass. Some of you might love that flavor and you might want to go get this. And this is a great sauce too. And a very unique one. These are interesting products. I'm not going to say it's bad. I can only give it a 5. All right, but that's not saying that it's bad. All right, there are products that I've tried in the past few months that have gotten 3s or 2s. This is nowhere near that. It's not unpleasant. It's not horrible. It's just weird. But it will be featured in a soon-to-be-produced video in which I try 4 spicy hot sauces. Incidentally, the only 4 spicy hot sauces, or spicy barbecue sauces. Why do I keep saying that? Because I don't collect barbecue sauces, I collect hot sauces. But I do have 4 spicy barbecue sauces, and there's going to be a face-off video, which this will be part of. Even though I already know I love those other 3 sauces, and I do not love this one. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's out. Maybe there'll be some kind of magic connection that will be made between this sauce and the food that I'm serving it with in the little competition. But anyways, that's soon to come. Hope you enjoyed this one. Hope you feel elucidated, and I hope that you're out there investigating and finding out what the hell that flavor is in this sauce.